Yeah, we're live. Don't push it. All right. Got to start. We had to start a little later tonight. I've got another lesson. I've got a bunch of lessons all together. So I'm really not free till essentially around 6:45. Normally we're starting the thing at 6:45. Now it's moved to 7. All right, it's almost 7. We have 5 minutes. Guys, did somebody pin the tournament? I thought it was pinned. Where is the pin? Pin it and win it. Can we pin it and win it, please? Can we please pin this and win this? I thought it was pinned earlier. Do you have a link to the tournament? What? How dare you go to dinner? What are your priorities like? What kind of priorities are these? Morales is like, hi, maybe I'll join later. Early dinner. And now I can't pin what is going on with that. Priority 1, no divorce. Divorce is like a peaceful divorce. A divorce. Divorce of doves. It's a loving divorce. A lovevorce. Well, if she has money, then you don't want to... Or maybe you do. It depends on who has money, I guess. Who has more money. The whole divorce things. Divorce depends largely on money. I never married anyone with money, so... It never really mattered to me. I've never been rich, and I never married anyone rich, so I'll let you know if that ever happens. Alright. 4 minutes to start. Sparkle Horse, Divyan's Chess. Let's send out one more message. Last call. I thought we would get more players this week, but I mean, I'm starting late. Copy. Pawn the Horses Club. Message all members. Where are these Pawn the Horses members? Dude, starting now, dude. Starting soon. Last call. Starting soon. Starting soon. Whatever, man. Alright, too much work makes Jack a dull boy. Alright, success. I love success. The sweet smell of success. I spammed another message today. Priority 1. No divorce. Oh no. I knew someone was trying to log into my email recently. I got this message. The message from Microsoft was like, "Don't worry. Maybe someone entered your email by accident. You don't have to respond to this email just because someone's trying to access your email by accident." Whatever. Yeah, that's a good sign. When people start creating my, profiles in my name, that's a little creepy, but I'm not going to ban you yet. Sparkle Horse, Diane Deviant's chest, sorry. Dinekis, nice to see you back. Heroin, nice to see you as always. N2 Hamzama, relatively new. Acerbate, Miyamoto, Para. So, feels like there's a lot of people that should be here that aren't here. Like, all of the higher rated players have, like, bailed on me. I don't know. What's up? This is a very doable arena. It's 10-0 Rapid, 2.5 hours. What's your problem, people? Alexa, order Domino's. She's talking to me from the kitchen. Alexa, order a large pepperoni pizza. She's apologizing in the other room. Alexa, I hate you. I'm sorry you feel that way. Goju. Alright guys, I do apologize. What happened, Acerbate? You started to order pizza? Where's all of our 2200 plus players? Even Arsenal fan. Okay, Capablanca? Anonymous. Hey, where's Anonymous? He who takes the Queen Knight's pawn will sleep in the street. Oh. That's why you said that. The Queen's Knight's pawn, which means the B2 or B7 pawn. It's medieval. Medieval speak. For B2 or B7. The Chess Riddler. I'm likely to face the Chess Riddler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players, even number. No, we have 13. Dropped out. I dropped out so you guys can play. I don't want anyone to get like a bye. I pulled a Mr. Coffee. I will join shortly. I'm not warmed up either. Maybe just watching some chess will help me to warm myself up. We had 13 players. Yeah, how did that help me dropping out? Yeah, that made it 12. By dropping out, I made it 12, which means everybody should get a game. Yeah, I saw Chess Riddler and I basically... Unfortunately, it didn't matter in the end because at least one player is not here. So they messed up my whole calculation, basically. Because Deviant's chess entered without being here. And Musashi, it looks like as well. It ended up not mattering that I dropped out. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Like, just because you're on the list doesn't mean you're actually here. There should be like an attendance button or something like... They could add a feature, basically, like you have to click like, here in order to be entered in the tournament at the last minute or something. Great feature suggestion, right? Why would it be a big deal? Just have a button. You click if you're in attendance or not, and if you don't get paired if you're not clicking the button. God forbid, like, somebody put their heads together and think of good ideas. Just off the top of my head, I think of great ideas. Alright, let's see. Berserker 68, unfortunately, you have no games. I cannot accept you. You are rejected. I'm gonna have to reject anyone, you know, unless they're like specifically. This is the new not new, but the old new anti-London system. I'll either play the King's Indian or something like that. You just freaking have a little button and you check it if you're here, and they'll pair you. And if not, then you don't like cost someone getting to play a game. Very simple. So basically, white is playing a system I've used a lot. I feel like we had once already played this. The bishop g5 in e3 setup against the King's Indian. Usually the knight is on f3. I joked about f4. I've played that in some random blitz games. So now, I actually last played this position against my friend Tot Erwin. Now it really is a London. It's like a London, but you're out of here, bro. Get the hook. Aspirate, you have maybe 2 innings today. WP, I've played like many games with bishop g5, and it's a very effective system. It's further evidence that the best move is not necessarily the best move. There are practical considerations in chess, and I also don't really like playing complex closed positions with very little time. Why didn't white go for the center? Because playing the white side of the King's Indian is breaking hard, man. Mainline King's Indians, I need an hour to play such openings. The bishop g5 is a good practical line. Now, b5, we could play like a Benko. But I mean, e6 feels like the right idea. Benko, not your other Benko, your Benoni, your basic Benoni. Why did white give up his dark square bishop? Now, I have a new request to join the team. I have another question, guys. I pressed F something, and I accidentally made like all the text on my screen smaller. Does anyone know the keyboard command for that? Like what I did? I pressed like F9 or F10 or something, and it just suddenly like made all of my text like a tiny bit smaller all over the screen. Does anyone know how I undo that? What I've done? Can you see? Can you tell it's different? Everything looks just a tiny bit smaller like than it used to be. Or is it just my imagination? That's a nice bishop you've got there, Saji. You can't tell? I mean, look at the chat room chat. Doesn't it look small? Weird. Very strange. It was all my imagination. The command you want will be zoom in or out for your keyboard, but what's the command? Really? The command you want. The command you want is the command you will get. Alright, now in all seriousness, what am I doing? I want to play knight d7, but wait, that's f5. a6 is a good move except for the fact that it will take away knight a6. Knight d7, f5. Annoying. Maybe, alright, now this is getting out of control. Look on the top of your window. The magnifying glass. Oh, the magnifying glass. Oh, shit. Ah. So it's like, it wasn't F10. Thank you. Yeah, it was, or maybe it was. Maybe it was an F10 command. Maybe not. You're doing F5 anyway. Wow, thank you for that tech support. They played F5 anyway. You will regret this. How dare you play F5 anyway? I went to all that trouble. You know, to prevent it from playing F5, and he freaking played F5 anyway. I literally didn't play knight d7, and put my knight on a6 to prevent F5. What does he do? He does F5 anyway. I hope you're having a good day. W. F5 looks fine. Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. Great. I love having control of e4. I'm all for it. I now have control of the e4 square. Totally fine with me, man. It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye. Now he played a3, ostensibly to prevent knight b4. Clearly. Alright, very well. Very well, very well. Ostend. 1903. Ostensibly. Ostensibly, they played in Ostend. Ostend, Texas. I'm just drunk with happiness today. F5 is awesome. At least it shows he's 1600 to 1600. It shows a great amount of respect for me and my dangerous tactical abilities. I don't get much respect. I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. Rook d1. That ostensibly protects the d5 pawn. I just like saying ostensibly all the time. It's a fun word to say. You know, originally I wanted my knight to go through e8 to f6. It was the long way home. Like Supertramp. Take the long way home. You know, the long way to go from d7 to f6 was like A6, C7, E8, F6, but then my queen got in the way. But it's fine. You know, the knight on C7 is fine. It supports B5. It puts pressure on his D5 pawn. His rook is terrible on D1. I should do more, like, where we just commentate, like, this way, you know, just kind of stream of consciousness. Everything's a vague term at the end of the day. Pretty much everything's vague. I was thinking about that earlier today. Hard rock music where the streamer is dancing while playing chess. Hard rock music is better than like pop, like really annoying pop. Yeah, any kind of music though, it's problematic. People don't like it, or they love it, or they don't like it, or they hate it. Everyone's polar. It polarizes everyone in our already polarized world. White's play is too stereotyped, but what do you want him to do, you know? Boom. It's a Benoni, after all. I like music while playing chess, but I wouldn't... Yeah, I do. I find it very inspiring. You know, I had an idea, another great idea, for FIDE to make money, because they love making money. Why doesn't FIDE... Where do you go that you, like, rent a headset or whatever? You know, what if FIDE, like, had a business, like, renting... You're not allowed to listen to music at the board because you might be cheating, right? But what if FIDE or tournament organizers were to rent you your own listening device? You know what I mean? They could make a racket out of it and actually make money at the same time by allowing people to listen to music at the board. But no, I mean, nobody at the International Chess Federation could ever think of something that deep. They only make money by, like, making titles easier to get, dude. You have, like, a headset rental service at the board. Back in the 90s, as late as 2006, people listened to music. I last remember facing someone in 2006 where they were using a headset at the board. But seriously, Mr. Coffee, what do you think about tournament directors, you know, having, like, headset rentals? Yeah, it's a great idea, I think. FIDE could make money. People could, you know, enjoy chess more by listening to music while they play. And they couldn't cheat because they would be like, you know, headsets provided by the organizers or whatever. I think of great ideas just to stay in shape, you know. Mr. Coffee came up with an interesting thought. Not overwhelming, but I'll take it. I find music to be very inspiring. It's like people say music is like a drug, you know. It can cause almost like, it's like meditation, man. You could argue that you don't need to be Timothy Leary and take LSD to have altered states of consciousness. Meditation, yoga, you can rent yoga mats at the board. But in all seriousness, music is powerful, and it could be a great inspiration. So I like to listen to music when I'm playing certain types of music. Exactly, Mr. Coffee just doesn't care. That's basically why. But you should care. Alright, he didn't say he doesn't care. He just doesn't care for listening to music while he plays. It's a great way to tune out, like, poker players like you can't stand while you're playing poker. Those people that never stop talking. See, unlike chess, poker is more problematic because people are allowed to talk during the game. Especially drunk people. So Magnus is not an inspiration the way that Anand is. I think he's also more kind of selfish, and you've also got to understand the fact that chess, although India never had a lot of strong grandmasters, historically, chess came from the region of Persia and India. Ultimately, there's a lot more tradition for chess, dude, in India than in Norway. I mean, it's not even close. But I never thought much of Magnus's promotion of the game. I mean, dude, I went to my first unofficial chess tournament in New Jersey in like 1984. And there was a shitload of like Indian kids there, for sure. Like at least 10 or 15 kids were Indian. And we're talking 1984, man. I mean, chess has always been popular with Indian people. It's a cultural thing. They also value education more than Westerners, probably. Asians in general. I'm the pawn collector. Came to collect your pawns. I wonder how my position became so popular. How my d5 square became so popular. Do we have another request to join the team? By any chance? No. That bug just never goes away. The best kind of bug is the bug that never goes away. The chess bug. Harem. Oh, chess was banned. Well, right. That's why Shirazi and all these like Iranian players left years ago in the late 70s. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in India, it was considered to be naughty. India, I mean Iran. Persia. Whatever. Chess is naughty. It's almost as bad as sex. Emery Tate would probably be really into this conversation. Alright. Dr. Chipchance is a hedonist. Hedonics, hooked on hedonics. How about checkmate? Is that an option? Harem. Hooked on harems. Alright, back to the tournament. The dark squares got him in the end. Queen G1 mate. Oops, I missed. All that stuff, chess, gambling, sex, drugs, satanic rituals. It's all the same, you know. Alcohol, so... But why is it okay to drink like coffee? Are we allowed to drink coffee? What about cigarettes, tobacco. Is that evil too? Probably. Coffee and tobacco. Is that also hedonistic? Chess. I keep forgetting this is an arena. Chess Riddler in first place. Sex is expensive. Budget. Sex on a budget. That's a great new slogan. Very, very politically correct. It's not that bad. Put it on a t-shirt and start selling them. I should sell like unofficial Lichess merch. I should get my own merch finally. Where's... It's not free. I have to watch these stupid blogs to see the site, by the way. And want to like vomit every time I see a blog from Noel Studer or Czech Ray's mate or GM Craze. It's like psychologically traumatizing. I'm going to take them to court. I'm serious, man. I'm going to have to take like Lichess to court because they're causing me like... It's causing me like psychological trauma. Like seriously, reading those blogs, seeing those blogs on the front page of the site makes me physically sick every time I see it. Dude, don't make me time you out. I don't like having to time out someone named after me, but I'll do it if I have to. Why do I have to explain like the same stuff over and over again? Why do you hate like people like sticking needles in your eyes? I don't know. It just doesn't feel good. It's a form of torture. There's this one death row inmate in like Missouri who's he's trying to get off of death row because they're gonna try to like kill him with nitrogen gas, which has never been used before. And he says just waiting to die by nitrogen gas is a form of torture, you know. And I think I have a similar case against Lichess with the blogs. Just seeing those blogs every time I turn on the site is causing excruciating, like, psychological... Okay, I don't mean to, like, belittle this guy's case, you know. I think it's, like, truly inhuman, the idea of executing someone with an untested nitrogen gas or whatever. But, 2600s. I don't think any of the people I just referred to are 2600s. They're basically not. That's why they're doing it. You don't get too many 2600s doing that. These are the wannabes who are doing it, you know. The second tier kind of fakes. That's the point, you know. If they were really 2600s, they wouldn't have to make stupid blogs about garbage. They're basically fakes. You know, fake is relative. Then there's a lot of people who are way lower down in the food chain. There was the worst guy ever. One of those, even worse than the bloggers are the forum. There's like these forum trolls who like respond to every single forum post, and I quit the forums because of these guys. People like these guys. This like know-it-alls, you know, the forum know-it-alls. One of them started like making a blog. They make blogs too, you know. Like it's bad enough that I can't use the forums because of these people, because they're so ridiculous. It's just offensive. And now they even like start making blogs. And the poor noobs can't tell the difference between like people who really know what they're talking about. That's the biggest issue. You know, genuine noobs, like, they just don't know the difference between a fake grandmaster and like a really good grandmaster. Or people who are sincerely interested in coaching, and others who are just, you know, I talk about like Susan Polgar. She's a kind of poster child for this sort of thing. My description of her in terms of poker terminology is basically she was like a good chess player who turned herself into a bluff. You know, she's no longer has any value as a good chess player. She just became like a scammer. I don't argue that she was a good player at some point, but now she's nothing more than like a money-grabbing scammer. Lev Albert is another example. He was U.S. champion. Now he's just a money-grabbing scammer. It's kind of disturbing, but whatever. I just got on the subject. Sorry. All right. Turn yourself into a bluff. Wow, this guy is tough. Ruslan is an annoying opponent to face, I have to say. Globally, we have a similar issue regarding health information. Globally, we have a similar issue regarding everything. William Pascal's best. How old are you, seriously? You're not like an 8-year-old from India, are you? Are you? You probably are. Alright. It's alright, nothing wrong with 8-year-olds from India. I'm just trying to clarify your perspective. I love 8-year-olds from India. You guys, like, are most of my viewers. Just that I just want to clarify where you're coming from. We all have different perspectives. Fake information and scams are big. Did you guys see the New Hampshire? They had like a fake Biden robocall. Did you see that, Mr. Coffee? He says something about malarkey. The New Hampshire is starting like a criminal investigation. Oh my god, dude. Mr. Tripchance, have you ever seen the airbrush, you know, the non-airbrush photos? You don't want to. She gets younger every year, you know. And her hair gets blonder every year, dude. I mean, everything about her is fake. It's really, really bad. But generally speaking, I don't go there. You know, on the physical, you know, I'm not trying to attack people on how they look. You know, but I mean, it is interesting. Why is Ruslan Bear so goddamn strong all of a sudden? I'm not trying to attack people on their looks, but it does say something about them, you know, when even their looks are fake, you know. I don't employ airbrush photos or color my hair to make myself look younger. Although I thought about maybe like blue. Yeah, I don't want to know any more details, Dr. Chipchance. That's enough. I've heard enough. Don't get Dr. Chipchance started. Yeah, Bob would enjoy debating this with Dr. Chipchance. But I just, you know, I ate not too long ago. I really rather not talk about that, really. The physical attractiveness of Susan Polgar. You'd buy an Astrobate puzzle book. Am I lost yet? How is this guy so freaking fast? Maybe if I accept my request for joining the team. Insane, insane. Have you ever heard of please? Overshock. Over chess. Accept my request to join the team, please, sir. Over easy. Chess over easy. I was thinking, maybe Move 11 could help me, but I was wondering if there's some way we could make a meme out of Chess Explained's name, like something that rhymes, something funny that rhymes with explained. How can we need something stupid that sounds like explained. Pissed off. That's good. That's good. I like that. You're on the right track now. Pissed off. Exactly. He makes other people pissed off. In my case. I like that though. That very quickly coming up with stuff. Excellent. The opponent here is like, how to express this? Alright, dude, I'm gonna ban you from the freaking team, dude, if you offer me another goddamn draw. I'm serious, dude. That's his second draw. What the fuck, dude? I'm not happy. Don't do that anymore. I'm like the Incredible Hulk. That's the second draw he offered in the same game. I like to use bad words for emphasis. One draw offer is all you get, and then, you know, I'm going postal on your ass. I hope you understand this. You don't make multiple draw offers. Please accept my request for a draw. Probably, like, is a draw, but it doesn't mean I should give you a draw, because, like, the computer evaluation is a draw. His engine says is spitting out, like, you know, 0.0, so he offers me a draw. Doesn't mean I should give you a draw. At least he said please. He didn't say please. I said please. No. This guy said accept my request for joining the team. Did he say please in the other request? I wish you could do like please draw. There was a funny incident that occurred in a tournament in Hungary years and years ago. Grandmaster, I wasn't playing, I was playing an IM group, and in the GM group at the same site, Grandmaster Lukács Péter was playing with Kogan, and Lukács was already getting up there, and he didn't play much. And so he's playing a young IM who's going for his GM norm or something. They were approximately the same rating, but Lukács is like going down and Kogan's going up. And so Lukács actually offered him please draw. It was really funny. I think I've never heard anyone like literally do that. Yeah, no draw play. That's what Nefidov's friend did to me. What's his name? Also Ukrainian. Frolov. Frolov told me no draw play. I had to grovel. You will grovel for a draw. It's fine, fine. I almost lost. That was like no money. It's an IM tournament. We're both IMs already. And the guy was like, trying to kill me in this ending, which was a draw, but it was like a tiny bit better for him. He literally had nothing to gain except for like some rating points, but extremely long game. It must have been, it ended up being like almost 6 hours long, like the maximum. And normally in these type of tournaments, holy shit. Normally in these type of tournaments, alright dude, you're banned. You're totally banned. I'm banning you from the team now. This is not a joke anymore. This is like a move 11 ending. I think I made a mistake there. Funny position, isn't it? I actually made a mistake there. Move 11 is a specialist in this type of ending. Move 11 could lose this like a piece up, probably. I had almost similar, well, very similar position against move 11. Oh, now he's onto something. Shit. I think he's onto something. He's onto me. He's figured out how to draw this. This is really weird, dude. I missed my only chances. Oh, I still had a chance. I blundered again. Wow, Bishop e6 was still a chance to win. I let you know when it's a draw. I was really hoping for I was really hoping you got that part right. I couldn't fool him. You couldn't fool him. Oh no, Uber driver's here saying stuff about Big Bobby. What? Bishop A8? Maybe his computer told him that it's still a draw. But I don't know about that for sure. Queen that pawn. Big Bobby says queen that pawn. guy's seriously banned. Not funny, dude. That's where I draw the line. You have crossed the line of disrespect. All right. Enough is enough. It's just not funny. Alright, next. Sung Prism is way out in first. 14 points. I don't understand. Maybe he's like drank a bottle of vodka or something, but that's pretty disrespectful. Not only 2 draws, but 5 draws. 5 draws offered in succession. Big respect. Total respect. Yeah. Just because your computer evaluation says it's a draw doesn't mean I'm going to accept a draw. Five casual draws. Thank you for the arena. Sad game. What, my game? Say that again. But I'm wondering, you know, in all seriousness, I don't think, I mean, I'm kind of going on a hunch here. My impression, you can you know, you can argue that I'm wrong, but I think he intentionally lost the piece, and he was trying to win on time by losing the piece. Just he didn't have a good sense as to whether, you know, I had the time to beat him. You know, I have plenty of time there. He thought I didn't have the skills to, like, you know. Does anyone understand? I don't understand what that comment is, but it feels like it's the guy who offered me 5 draws. Eventually, an idea to make it configurable. Yeah, I mean, you don't understand. You know, I'm not. You know, if anything, I mean, I'm the last person who's gonna be like. Shockey loves the accelerate. He loves the symmetrical English. I'm the last person that's gonna pull like what's his face, dude. But you already started. Oh, you're a developer, but you just happen to be 74. That's really funny. Like, the guy's name is 74 too. What is the chances of that? There's literally like millions of numbers in the universe, and you both are 74. Kind of funny, ironic coincidence there. All right. Anyway, I don't believe in like playing for wins and draws in drawn positions. But if you piss me off, you know, at some point I'm gonna like no holds barred. When draws are allowed, yeah, absolutely. Well, I thought there, I don't know, in tournaments I think there, if in rated games there is, right? So maybe in rated games, like, he's not allowed to offer a draw again after a certain amount of moves. I think that Lichess might have a configuration for that, you know. It's like 10 moves or something. It's distracting, you know, first of all. That's... The main point is that it's a distraction. You know, you're not allowed to talk to your opponent other than, like, offering draws in over-the-board games, too. So, the biggest problem with offering draws can be used as a way to distract the opponent. And little kids will do that all the time. And I've told the story many times, and Move 11 likes it. And I told the story how I did this with this kid years ago, was pissing me off, and I told him I'd rather die than have a draw with him. We've said this like a million times. I went on to win the game in a totally drawn position. So it's a combination of things, you know. But I get it. You're talking about configuration as a developer for how you could maybe prevent people from doing that. Yeah. I get it. It felt like, you know, I don't know if he watched the stream or not, but from my perspective, he was like trolling me finally after the second draw for, you know, draw first 3 through 5 were strictly like to piss me off at that point, and that's why I banned him. I wouldn't ban him for like, you know, block him from the team for 2 draw offers, but for 5, you're just asking me to ban you, you know? Like, why are you trolling me? In a simul or something, I'll take a draw, but in Blitz, I'm not taking draws from low-rated players. In a tournament game, I have lots of draws. You know, over the board, I have lots of draws. I'm a conservative, kind of conservative player. I have more draws than most people. Doesn't mean I take draws in Blitz. I generally play for a win. Pretty much always. Auto deny draws. I mean, you see, I don't want to do that, obviously, because there are some places where I have to accept a draw, should accept a draw, want to accept a draw, so... No, I think the best way is to limit it by number of moves or whatever. Shaki's playing really well. This reverse Sicilian. Despite losing the d5 square, he has a pretty solid position, although, you know, bishop a6 was a little artificial. Maybe I should think of it more of like as a Benoni and play like f4, being willing to give up. I hope he's not thinking about second exchange here. Well, I hope he's thinking about second exchange here. Good. I mean, in general, it's a good idea, the button. But seriously, my best. Well, he tortured me a lot in simuls too. You know, his behavior has been really weird. Stop bargain. Nice to see you, by the way. I suggested today that we have a button to verify that you're here at the start of the arena, so that, you know, people don't like get no game, like a attendance button or something. That would be a good feature add for arenas. Well, and not only arenas, for like any tournaments, like Swiss's too. So many times like people enter and then they don't show up for the first game, and then the opponent just like wins by forfeit or whatever. We could have a participation button to click, you know. It just doesn't seem like the developers at Lichess are that active with like new stuff. Same as the old stuff. I don't know what they're doing. Just keeping the servers running. Helping the bloggers come up with new blog features. I just care about chess, man. I think the the bare bones stuff should be improved. We should focus on the bare bones, not creating more blogs and social media. All right, blogathon. Are you gonna play f4? I know f4 is a little bit weakening for me. Rook ae1. Are you tempted to play rook takes d5? Would you like to sacrifice the exchange? It's like the time that a friend of mine, an ex-friend of mine, another story I've told a million times, but this guy like cheated against him, and he like came back to the room and the move he had played was unplayed. My friend asked him if he wanted to resign. Would you like to resign? Or do I have to call the tournament director and report you for like taking back your last move? God, I was like, okay, I resign. He sacked the exchange. Sacked the exchange. Inappropriate. Fancy play syndrome. Unnecessary, but playable. I offer you resignation. Yeah, I should have asked Ruslan if he would like to quit the team. Would you like to be fired or resign? You know, Shaki's exchange sacrifice here is like unnecessary, probably objectively bad, but tempting, right? So many cases of this where we get these situations where it's like a romantic move, but you know, like, you shouldn't do it. Like, it's just not quite good enough. And you just can't resist the temptation. I think it comes down to self-control, partially. My self-control is like 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. Depending on how much alcohol and how tired I am is involved in the situation. Alcohol. Alright, bishop f3. Speaking of alcohol, I could use a glass of wine. I've been really cutting back lately. It's tempting to play bishop f3. Chop the knight, but it's also materialistic. But the problem with Shaki's exchange sacrifice is, like, you didn't need to do that. And I was talking to Move 11 about this during a lesson the other day. You know, a lot of times, and I'm talking about myself, you know, a lot of times I'm making decisions based on, like, choosing a move because it's lazy, you know. I'm choosing a move because it's a simple thing to do. If you catch yourself doing that, you've got to really try to, you know, learn to not do it. The best thing the computer can teach me is how to be patient and keep looking for, like, small moves, quiet moves, little moves that step by step improve the position. I'm not most impressed by Stockfish's spectacular moves. I'm learning from it in terms of, like, actually in most cases it's like quiet moves, like little moves that improve the position, almost like microscopically, that are the best. I have this joke that 99% of tactics don't work, and we could say that for Shaki's exchange sacrifice. But it's also like human laziness. We just did it. We do it because we can, because it's like the simple thing to do. I'll just sack the exchange. Why bother thinking when you can just sack the exchange? I mean, you do have to be practical in a faster time control. Once I had this kid do it in a Rapid tournament, in a Marazzi, same thing. It was the same thing. I had a knight on d4 as black in a Marazzi. And here in Budapest, like 10 years ago, he was real cocky. It was like an 1900 kid. He was real cocky, and I was like, maybe he's going to sack the exchange, and he did, and he lost in like 15 moves. Okay. Well, if he hadn't done that, he probably would have gotten a draw. But, there are cases where such exchange sacrifices can be very strong. It depends. But in this case, you know, I think it was really, really unnecessary. What about f4? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pawnda Arena. I was hoping for a good turnout. Last week we had a thematic. I did a thematic and very poor turnout. So I think the arenas and keeping it like normal chess. Here we have an interesting situation where I'm tempted to take on f4. Always take. Compromising my structure. Wow, it just occurred to me that I might have d4. I have to watch the f2 square, but at the same time I wanted to get my rook active and off the diagonal of the a6 bishop and in the game. Now, I expected bishop takes f4 with some threats of bishop takes h2. I think he's thinking of a double exchange sacrifice. He already sacrificed one exchange, so he'll probably sack another one if I play bishop f3, which would actually be interesting. No, that's not happening today. Not today. Also interesting is like a full rook sack, like g3, queen h3, pawn takes f4, bishop takes f4. But I think I just go bishop f1 now. Compact, affordable, sludgy. Another great merch idea. You don't need to pay Susan Polgar $200 an hour when you can pay me less than 50. Probably be a better coach. Just for example, you know, Lev Albert. Why do you want to pay Lev Albert, like, you know, to teach you like a beginner? I'm better looking than Susan Polgar too. By a long shot. If you want to give a like to this auto-disable draw idea on GitHub, you could give a like here. Alright. C 7-4. What do I think of Anand's games? I think he's great. You know, I've never really studied Anand's games in depth, though. I mean, I've seen a lot of Anand's games because I've been alive during the last 30 years. But I've never been like an Anand fan. Necessarily, but maybe because like our opening repertoire never really overlapped that much. You know, he played a lot of Slav defense when it was extremely popular, and more e4 with white. So I think, you know, part of the reason why I don't really know Anand that well, because most of my play has been with like d4, although Anand's capable of playing anything with white. I just don't think like our overall openings like overlap as much as other players. So I can't really consider myself that informed about Anand. I just think he's like one of the greatest players of all time. So that's all my comment. You know, he's pretty universal, move 11. I mean, good at everything. But I think maybe like when you study a particular player, it isn't bad when their opening repertoire overlaps with you quite a bit. I literally never ever play the Slav. That's kind of probably the main reason why I never paid that much attention to Anand. Someone who plays Slav defense or a lot of e4 with white, you know. So, Shaki, that's an interesting bishop you have on h6. actually has e4 now. He's only down. It's only down a rook. Down a rook. Effective stack size down a rook. I know he's only down an exchange, but since his bishop is like shut out, it's like almost he's effectively down a rook. Effective rook size. I don't know, build a wall. He lost on time. I forgot, it's an increment. That's a neat idea. Am I back on the chat? Oh, you're talking about C74? Or what? No, I mean, Shaki Alms is here. Sun Prism has 23 points already, like killing us all. We have no chance. Yeah, okay. Banned. Banned without even, like, checking. Damn it. Fucking fruit fly infestation is back. Guinea pigs. They like the guinea pigs. Alright. Sun Prism. How's he got so many points? I still have this. I had this theory that fruit flies secretly drink our blood. It's a conspiracy theory. That's a neat idea. Do you want to be more specific, Mr. Coffee? You must be talking about one of my ideas. I just want to, like, can I look at the game with Shaki for a second without getting timed out? When he sacks the exchange here, by the way, like, okay, this is a classic idea. Wait, there's a slight advantage. And then black is, like, lost when he sacks the exchange. Oh no. Sung. The exchange sack was -3. I didn't think it would be that bad, actually. I thought it would be -1 or something for you. I mean, -1, like, you're down 1, like, +1 for white, essentially. I didn't think it would be that exaggerated, but the computer thought you're, like, hopelessly lost. A4. Reactionary. He's a reactionary. You gotta win. I forgot to berserk. I forgot we can berserk. I'm not really being that competitive tonight. Oh, there's that move. You can play it in a gambit style. I don't want to play in a gambit style necessarily here. Like E5 takes knight C6. That's better against C4. We can transpose to Apiert's. King's Indian. G6 is literally Apiert's. Alright, let's keep it in. Keep it in the Kraken realm. Where's Nedog? Move 11 just stopped by to ask me what I think of Anand's games. He's not playing, right? Yeah, I think we had this before, no? Let's see, C5 takes. Interesting. C5 takes. C5 takes, Queen A5. This is pretty crazy. Playable, though. There's no Queen D5. You don't have Queen D5. Oh. Look at that. Now, what is going on here, boys and girls? Your center is undermined. I am destroying your center. Congratulations. The center cometh. Very important tactic there, by the way. Like, if he takes on c5, I play queen a5, and this type of position, if c takes d5, queen a5, c takes d6, then he takes e4. If white has queen d5 in that position, black is Scrooged. But because I've played e6, I have control of the d5 square. He doesn't have that resource. So I think, you know, this actually is okay for me. In many cases, it wouldn't be okay to do like d takes c5, queen a5. Anand. Wow. Did you have AI write that? Now we've got AI to replace Acerbate. I mean, what are we going to do? Unbelievable. We don't need Acerbate anymore now that we have AI. We just have AI write all your novels for us. Just kidding, Acerbate. I would never replace you with AI. Although it seems like AI babble, this is actually, you know, hand collected. Acerbate is basically like a early form of AI. You're like, when were you born? I mean, you're like the late 60s, product of late 60s, early AI research. I'm winning a pawn. Do I want to win a pawn, though? Do you want to win a pawn? Or do you want to go for door number 2? Sun Prism is really extended. And not to get Bob excited, you know. I won't say overextended, but extended. It's like before you're overextended, there's this point where you're just extended. Fully extended. I really have to start drinking some alcohol. Speaking of Alcoholics Anonymous, I got this bottle of wine I need to finish before I go to the Aldi again. I've given up binge drinking. Now I only drink like a little bit here and there. Where's all the chat? There's no chat today. Not enough chat. Sun Prism. He kind of reminds me of Learning Chess. Are you sure you're not related to Learning Chess? I mean, knight g4 is a thing, but I don't think you should go to the extreme of playing h3 to prevent it. That's a bit much. Now I literally have too many good choices. Don't make me like have to predict his moves. As much as I really do love trading queens, I think in this case I'm going to refrain and go for the jugular, because ultimately White's king is swinging in the wind. And we don't want to go for the jugular too quickly, though. Knight b4 might be a bit much. Although, you know, actually, it ain't bad. This is a soft square in the opponent's underbelly. Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. I'm tickling his underbelly. Soft, furry underbelly of white's position at c2. That's not a good position for white right there. Deposit only. Are you threatening? You're finally threatening me. Castles. It's the thought that counts. Well, I can always like defend that with another piece, knight d5. Bishop e3. Would you like to go back to where you came from? Okay. Queen e2. Now, well, he's like getting away now. That's pretty annoying. That's pretty annoying. So I didn't win by force. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm up 2 pawns. So that's not bad. Not a bad place to start. I could play knight to d5. I mean, it's not a bad move. Though my own development is a little bit laggy here. Man, not enough chat in this room. We're gonna need more chat, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I think we're gonna have to just like open the floodgates and let all the migrants in. Cut down the wire fencing. Yeah, no, everyone's playing. I know, that's the problem. Chess riddle. That's why we need more random chatters. Like, I need to just like open up the tournament to random noobs or something. Rather than just be a once in a while I need to do random noobs tournament. You have 2 sections. Private Gump. All right. You found that. God. Damn it, man. Bishop takes c1. I have queen a5 check. You won't be castling after that. God damn it, man. Queen a5 check. What was it Joe Biden said? What was that again? The iconic no malarkey. No malarkey. No, that's the robocall. Can you just shut up, man? What was the shut up, man? Make your own Joe robocalls with AI. All right. So how many pawns do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 4. Bishop pair plus he can't castle. So it's all around a good position for white. There's no knight d4, no knight g5. He can't castle. I have a very strong dark square bishop. It's not looking good. I like the way we conducted this investigation into the robocalls. White is somewhat lost. The Kraken strikes again. What does that do? b4. Oh, you want to play rook b1. I'll just go to c1. Then you'll have the crushing knight g5. Game over. Please don't play knight g5. It's your only chance. The obvious point of his last move. Schieberspieler is in the tournament. He didn't know. Alms is in. Schieber used to play, but he's left the building, left the fold. He's on his own now. He's grown up, gone away to chess college. Did you ever see this opening e4, e5, d3? Well, that's. I was experimenting with e4, e5, bishop e2 this week. Chansey. You did it. You played it. Can't believe you believed me. He believed me and played knight to g5. The problem is after knight takes e6, queen a1 check, white doesn't have a lot of options. There's bishop b1, queen d1, queen e1, or some other illegal move. So you really can't afford to sacrifice the rook on a1 with check. Bishop b5 also not great. This option isn't great either, but obviously it improves his winning chances greatly. Yeah, there goes another guy. Look, I never castled. Oh. Obviously, I think some person's making a big mistake from the arena perspective here, not resigning here. You're free to play it out as long as you want, man, but I mean, you were in first place, and I'm really not sure how, you benefit by not resigning against me. Maybe it's strategic calculation that I'm his only threat, so if he just literally, keeps me busy. Mate in one. I just didn't want to weaken my king side. I'm his biggest threat, so if he keeps me in check, literally, I can't pass him. Maybe it's a strategic, not castling, see? I like to delay castling. I had a game against Vida Levente, who once played e4, e5, knight f3, and when I played the Petrov, he played d3, which was very upsetting to me psychologically. And I lost because I was kind of psychologically upset that it's really annoying. But at the end of the day, white can just play like he's sort of black, playing the Philidor with an extra move, and there's nothing that terrible about it. So e4, e5, d3, you're black with an extra move. The computer will probably say that black is better, you know, by some small amount. I wouldn't have faced it, and I played d5. So d5 would be an interesting try. You're playing like a... I think objectively it's probably not the best move. Probably e4, e5, d3, knight f6 is best. But, you know, if you want to try, you could try to play d5 on move 2. Yeah, knight f6, f4, and then that's the James West attack. Where's... You're not playing James West? Are you sure? There's this master from New Jersey who I grew up with, kind of. I didn't grow up with him, but he was there when I grew up. And he used to play the Fildart Counter Gambit and write articles about it in the New Jersey Chess Magazine. And so Move 11 did some research, and turns out that the guy is like, you know, he's older now and still plays online, and he's like still obsessed with the Fildart Counter Gambit. So Move 11 caught him playing it like with both colors. He now only plays like this stuff with white, you know. The guy was a decent player. He was around 2350, high to mid 2300s US. But at some point he went like full Rubinstein and became obsessed with this obscure opening. The Fildart Counter Gambit is really bad. It's like -3. Of course, we never knew that back in the day. But I imagine the Fildart Counter Gambit with an extra tempo for white, from white side, is not that bad. Maybe only slightly worse for white. Yeah, after f4, I'm not sure. You're supposed to take on f4, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And you take on f4 and play d5? Or no, maybe you're... No, I'm wrong. You're supposed to play knight c6. That's what it is, Chancy. It's f4, knight c6. And black slightly better. Then if pawn takes e5, knight takes e5. I think I even had this position. d4, knight takes e4. Pawn takes e5, queen h4 check. g3, knight takes g3. Stuff like that. That's one possibility. Possibility. What am I doing here? Knight f3, that's like the best move. Accelerated Kraken. Facing the best move. Alright, learning chess. You sure? You played d6. No d6. d6 bad. Don't play d6. You're making the same mistake he's making. d6 passive. d6 not best. You don't want to play d6. You're supposed to either play like knight c6 or take on f4. You should have a good game. You can check it with the computer. But you might want to try d5 on move 2. Effectively playing a center game or center attack with the colors reversed. But remember, your opponent has committed to playing d3. So a lot of his best lines in the center attack or center game reversed are not as good. Knight d2, novelty. I have never faced this, and I hope I never face it again. Sounds like something Fritz was programmed to say back in 1997. Yeah, so I'm just considering all my options here. I mean, g6 is kind of the main move. e5 doesn't seem to quite work, to quirk. And b5 lost its luster. And b5 is possible. On the other hand, I could also just simply play e6. Do a lot of things. I could play knight c6, knight c6, c6. It's a move. Speaking of Schieberspieler, looks like a game I had against him. Oh, we have an hour left in the arena. Where's Uber Driver? Is he playing? Speaking of the Philidor. But white has a passive setup, so it's not dangerous. Equal. This is equal. Big decision. C3 takes or D5. Now your bishop's on E2, not D3. So your E4 pawn isn't that well sported. Also, your knight's on D2, not on C3. So your D5 pawn isn't as well supported as it might be in some cases. So I would wonder here if there's some chance I could try to play back at him with like C6 or something effectively, rather than just playing on the king side. C6, C4. I've tried this a lot in these type of structures. Like a Mexican defense. C6, C4, B5. It's a bit like anti-positional because we're attacking the head of his pawn chain. B5. Prophylaxis. Preparing C6 by playing B5 first. It's deep. Never tried that before. Traditionally, I think I'm normally going with like either knight G6 or G6 here. Now it's basically it's a King's Indian where he's played knight BD2 instead of C4, and I've played A6 on the queen side. I can play anything here. Knight G6, G6, C6. I've even seen games where people play like A5 and knight D7. Although white should be a tiny bit better, maybe. B3. So that's a surprising move in some respects. Now, what about bishop H6? What about it? The more active choice. What are you going to do about that, bro? You know, your pieces are a little bit misplaced for a King's Indian. You know, you should have C4, knight C3 at least. He's tied down to defending this pawn. I don't have to play bishop H6 by any stretch. A lot of players will play bishop G7 in this type of position, but I've lost too many King's Indians with a bad bishop to not avail myself of this opportunity to nonify my bishop. Yeah, this is a nice fantasy, but you're not going to be sacrificing any pieces soon, hopefully. Now, if I were to play C6 and white were to take on C6 and play knight C4, maybe my D6 pawn would come under fire. But ultimately, I'm threatening the sort of classic kingside, King's Indian stuff here. Hisset Nuns. He has almost 70% win rate in all time controls. Hisset Nuns played on my stream before. I actually did a couple lessons with him. But I haven't seen him in a long time. Where did you dig him up from? Shaki? Is he in the tournament? I'm gonna guess he's in the tournament. No, he's in the tournament? He hasn't been here in ages. What makes you mention Hisset Nuns? He's in here. No, he's a legit player. Just he hasn't been here in forever. He's a nice guy. Save the accusations for Arsenal fan. That Arsenal fan make implications, alright? I know you guys are both big on conspiracy theories, and I love conspiracy theories too. But I've played Hisset Nuns. He's alright. He's legit. We have to remember that you know, cheating on your puzzle rating isn't really cheating, I think. A lot of people might, you know, technically that's not really a rating. So I don't really consider like puzzle cheaters to be cheaters. If you want to use the computer to solve the puzzles and stuff, I mean, you're not playing as other people. You know, that's not really cheating. So I'm not going to judge anybody by their puzzle rating, although I might mention it occasionally. I don't really count puzzle ratings. I think it can be used as like a tiebreaker, maybe, if you think people are cheating in their normal games. It might be used as like a Buchholz tiebreaker, but generally I think we just kind of don't count the puzzle ratings of people. I'm not even sure like cheating in puzzles is against any sort of rules or anything. I think that's just totally up to you. Yeah, Rookie 1's a good move. Look at the focus here. But I mean, you know, we get like paranoid when anyone shows up. F5. Pawn takes F5. Oof, this is like, speaking of learning chess, speaking of conspiracy theories, how do you get like 70% of your rated games, dude? Because you're playing down all the time. Shaki. What's my winning percentage? It happens if you're playing down all the time. You play in hourly arenas and you're playing 1200s all the time. He's not playing me, you know. He's probably playing weaker players. That's how it happens. If you played 1500s all day, you know, you'd have a 70% winning rate too. No, I wouldn't read into it. So I have F5 undermining the D5, but I wish, speaking of conspiracy theories, I wish I had some statistics on my games with learning chess. How weird they are. This didn't count. These were simul games. Alright, these are cancelled simul games. It's not that learning chess has a good score against me. He actually has a bad score against me. That's suspicious. You guys won't hear this anywhere else. I'm so paranoid that learning chess's score is worse than it should be. Take that in your pipe and smoke it. No, I mean, there's something really weird about the learning chess account. I mean, no doubt. Like, I have so many games where I was in trouble against this guy, and then he seems to like melt down. You can use your imagination. You're welcome to speculate about learning chess. I don't advocate, you know, one way or the other. He's weird, you know, it's weird. But there's something with the bullet chess, right? He's got 27,000 bullet games, Shaki. 27,000. I think he's just like mentally destroyed himself. He probably has talent, but he's driven himself like insane by playing too many bullet games. I really don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But I've had this a lot lately where people play in such a way, like I literally don't know, you know, what is going on. What is going on? Did I lose a pawn yet? He's had the focus here on e5, like very logically, in a realistic way that he can sack there without like the queen on the diagonal. But I mean, I kind of alluded to this earlier with my bishop going to h6. There are people who will never do that and put their bishop on g7, and I think they're reassuring their e5 pawn that there's never going to be a sacrifice on the pawn chain. It would take a pretty deep player to like scheme this all from the beginning, you know, that I'm gonna set up like future sacrifices on e5 on a long run kind of plan. That's more like you're playing like a computer. Now h4, overtly like a really random looking move. Now he has the e6 square. We can check you know, I'd like to check h4 with the engine after the game. I've never really nailed learning chess to any concrete cheating, but I've always been very suspicious of his play as very strange and difficult to comprehend. You know, how it can be so extremely inconsistent. In some respects, he seems extremely strong. In other respects, he seems extremely weak. And you almost can't rationalize how the same player could be so strong and so weak in almost the same games. You know, it's like there's no conceivable way you could be so extremely good and extremely bad at the same exact time, you know. And of course, his name is extremely weird. Learning chess. I mean, that's a tell. Suspicious name. I was worried about knight to g5. I guess I should be worried about my knight on h5. No, although he has a high bullet rating, his play, you know, does tend to melt down. Man, the f4 looks scary now. This is a very, you know, you have to say like a very positional style by white here, no? Kind of computer-like. Until that. Like, where did this come from? Computer-like positional play until h4, which just seems to hang the whole position. And I've got a list of like 100 games like this against this guy, where he played like a genius and then just hung his whole position. It's like almost every single time. It's really creepy. I've had billions of lost positions against him. Billions. Thousands of billions. A million billion. Well, let's see. h4. Okay, really unexpected move there. Engine. Wait, white's move. The engine is playing a4. Maybe he confused it. He needs glasses like me. No, h4 is one of those moves where it's either very, very good or very, very bad. It's totally polarized. I thought it was bad, but it's like I wouldn't be surprised if it was the engine #1 move. So he's better after move 15. He's better. I don't know, man. I think he's like cheesy noob or something. I don't know what his deal is, dude. Very strange. It's hard, man, and it's like Hobbins. But Shaki, like, I don't know when you learn chess or how old you are exactly. You're very human as a player, but I just wanted to say that the more I play offhand games with people who learn chess online and learn, yeah, literally online in the last 10, 15 years, the last 10 years or 5 years, intensively just online, they're like total inconsistencies in the way people play are unbelievable, you know. Like, you have people who play like grandmasters and they like transpose directly into a lost king and pawning game. This is what I get all the time. It's like, it's inconceivable, you know. It's inconceivable to me that you can play 2400 tactically and then literally like go directly into a lost king and pawning game. The same player, you know. It's, and then I'm just like, wow, did I just play an engine, or this guy really literally doesn't even know like the most basic principles of king and pawn game, yet tactically plays like he's 2500 FIDE. It's true, it happens. Yeah, so here I can play AP87 is beyond salvation. I tried to help him, but he's obsessed with crazy gambits. Whereas like G Souths hasn't been here lately, but he actually has hope. But the crazy gambits have to stop. It's good for everyone to have some understanding of crazy gambits. But then you have to stop your crazy gambit training and start to play real chess. Understanding how crazy gambits work is great, but it's only like one part of the game. And you can't like develop as a chess player if the only thing you understand is like doing crazy gambits. This like Mark, you know, tennis wristband man, he just never could get beyond it. You know, he's like stuck in crazy gambit land because he's got this like obsessive personality. But it's not good. He'll never improve. You know, once you get stuck in a certain place, you want to develop many different skills as a player, and playing crazy gambits is one of them. Appreciating the value of crazy gambits and playing for the initiative. You know, if Paul Morphy was alive today, you know, he probably would realize that playing the Evans Gambit isn't a great idea. And, you know, I'll pass. But things were different back then. You know, no one had the knowledge they have now. The Evans Gambit has, you know, not nearly the value it had, let's say, at tournament level. As it did in Paul Morphy's day. Now, playing it at Blitz online is fine. This is, you know, you might have a personality disorder, but you can consult a psychological medical expert to confirm or deny said personality disorder. Knight c4. Well, look, I've been thinking a lot about this, not just in your terms. I studied psychology. I find it very interesting. I find it very interesting to look at the game from a psychological perspective, but I wonder why certain players in poker and chess, the games I play, you know, they seem to display like characteristics of their everyday psychological problems in their game, in the way they approach the game. So people with narcissistic personality disorder, you know, Donald Trump would be a very bad chess player. He would be an even worse poker player. You know, if Donald Trump was a poker player, I mean, can you imagine? I know exactly how he would play. He'd be like trying to dominate, control every single hand, bluffing virtually every single hand, you know, and he'd be a completely losing player. I see people like that all the time. And I'm interested in it. You know, I find it very, very fascinating. I mean, I'm not trying to say, pick on anybody. I find this whole topic very interesting. Applying psychology to chess and style, and the style of players and poker, you know, any mental type of games. Okay, do I have rook d6, and should I play it if I do have it? You know, is a good question. But I think like AP87, you're psychotically aggressive to the point where it's disadvantageous. You know, your level of aggression, it's like it's hurting your game. You need to like chill out and not try to be so aggressive. It's like it's irrational. And you play too fast, and it's connected. I'm too slow, and I'm too old, and I'm too fat, and I'm too nice, and I have a lot of problems. But at the same time, there we are. It might be about anger, but I'm encountering people where it's like about, they just want to have control of everything. They're like really dominant personality. This woman that I play poker with, she literally has to play every hand, no matter what card she has, because she has to be in the mix constantly. It's like a debilitating weakness in your game. She's a freaking whale, man. I mean, she's just like losing tons of money because of this like insane personality disorder, in my opinion. She can't ever fold pre-flop. Literally, because she has to be in the action every single hand. I mean, this isn't at all about gender, by the way. Like, this is just my best example of a player I've played with recently who happens to be a woman. I have other theories about gender, but I think, you know, gender factors into things. When I studied psychology, it was widely accepted that men were better at spatial relations. I don't know if that still stands. I haven't, you know, studied psychology for many years. It's very controversial to argue that men and women are better or worse at certain tasks. But anyway, this wasn't my point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I castle queenside? But anyway, my point was, that wasn't my point. My point was to play king f2 here, but I realized I have a problem. Houston, we're going back to d2. My point is simply to identify in myself and other players, like, well, why do I play like an idiot, you know? Is it because I don't understand chess? Or is it because something psychological, you know? Are you obsessively playing a gambit every single game? You might ask yourself, well, why are you doing that, you know? Are you misplacing your queen every single game? Like me? Any particular reason? You don't like queens? AP87 has talent, you know? England's got talent, but I think after all these games with you, I've got a question. Well, first of all, you don't listen to me. Secondly, maybe you don't care. I'm very competitive, so I want to get better. I'm all the time wanting to get better. King F2. Instantaneous moves. Is this a bullet tournament? He must be very angry at me. Nedeye, what's up? You had one woman bet with no cards in front of her. I had... My friend was like dealing. He's not a dealer, and sometimes he has to deal, and once he like dealt Hold'em without like dealing any hold cards to anybody and started like dealing the flop. We're like, dude, what are you doing? It was funny. Things happen late at night, you know. We might need some hole cards if you want us to play, dude. He just like deals the flop and he's waiting for the action. I am not a doctor and I cannot prescribe, you know, medication. Just want to warn everyone. Let's still call me sir. Your Royal Highness. Nedeye. Nedeye the Jedi. How did the poker go on Saturday? Well, as I pointed out to some friends recently, you know, I'm making the adjustment to not drinking any alcohol when I play poker. It's, I used to, I mean, when I played online, I never drank anything, so I can play poker without drinking, but it's very boring. Cash poker is very boring, and I have trouble adapting to this. I find myself getting very bored. So I'll listen to music. I have issues with getting bored. It will cause loss of attention, and over a long session that can be really important, obviously. Maybe AP87 is simply, you know, his problem is simply that he's like obsessed with playing bullet chess, you know, but look at the stats here. It's not, you know, it's weird. He has 6 minutes left. Well, I don't have a lot of money is my first problem. It takes money to make money. And not having enough money makes you play scared poker. So, because I don't have enough money, I can't be as aggressive as I would like to. So I haven't really... Basically, in the last few weeks, I broke even. Unfortunately. I wasn't able to make any profit. I just don't have enough money. There's like crazy people, you know, doing crazy things, and I can't afford to lose like $1,000 a session. I just don't have any money to lose, so I have to play too tight lately, and that's not good. And then I'll get bored and make some mistake because I become bored. And I played many years poker, but I always specialized in tournaments. And cash poker is not my field of expertise. But I don't play online anymore. Poker, aggressive game. Well, it's like, yeah, I mean, aggression is, yeah, I think it's chess-like in that perspective. Like, yes, aggressive players win, but you have to be controlled. Like, it's just like chess. I think in this respect, the optimal style in poker and chess is the same. It's like controlled aggression. The problem is if you go too far in chess or poker, you start to lose. So the secret is finding like a style where you're aggressive but not too aggressive to the point where you're killing yourself. I mean, if that's your question, I mean, I think you need an aggressive style to win. Some people are not necessarily aggressive personality-wise, let's say. But they can be like, mathematically inclined and just make perfect like mathematical decisions at every turn. They're not necessarily aggressive. It's like chess. There's more than one way to approach it. Styles are interesting to me, though. Black just dropped a piece. I think this is probably not a common variation, but playable for black. But you simply... you have to move the bishop, I guess. Or you could take on d5. Bishop d5, queen d5. Yeah, you can play bishop d5, queen d5. I still don't think that black is lost. Now black is probably lost after rook takes c5. Unless, well, I mean, no, he's lost here. He can lose 2 pieces for a rook at the minimum. Style usually correlate with personality. It does. But the problem is, like, in poker, like, there's the game and there's like how much money you have. And I've seen people who are naturally good players, but if they don't have enough money, they can't play, optimally. So I have friends who are really good at chess and poker, but they don't have enough money, so then their poker style naturally has to be more passive than it should be, and they end up breaking even or even being losing players because they can't afford to lose. You can't remove the fact from poker that it's essentially a money game. Like, I never played backgammon, but backgammon is also a money game. And I would assume that there's more similarity in that respect, between backgammon and poker than chess. And chess, there's no money directly involved in the game, whereas in backgammon there is, and there's like doubling. And recently I had, speaking of backgammon, recently I had a guy email me about dice chess or something. This is not the first time either. Like, once before, a chess site based on using like doubling cube from chess approached me about like trying it out and streaming. So basically be like some sort of chess for money based on using doubling from backgammon, a doubling cube. I don't know how it works, and so far I just kind of ignored them. But I noticed the other day that some streamer had the dice chess thing in their stream title. Not a particularly well-known chess streamer, just someone random, but I used to have a lot of friends who played backgammon. But I never picked it up. I hung out in Harvard Square for years and years with like really good backgammon players. Some of them were like pros. Bill Roberti used to come by. I never really liked him though. He seemed kind of weird and arrogant. He was like world backgammon champion. I found him a little strange. But I guess, you know, being like world champion in something makes you kind of arrogant. Alright. Not the case with Yoshihari Habu, though, who was the world champion shogi player. Well, the equivalent of like being world champion shogi player. He was very, very normal and modest, and I think that comes from culture. Japanese people tend to be very respectful. So it's not surprising that Habu was extremely respectful and extremely polite. Who's going to be more respectful, an American backgammon champion or a Japanese shogi champion? You make the call. Yeah, this guy's hanging in there, man. Hobbins is like, is the tournament over yet? Style usually correlate with personality. Well, move 11, what do you think? I think you're a good enough player. I mean, let's talk about chess and chess styles. Wouldn't you think that personality would... Not that I'm ever going to live long enough to get a master's degree in psychology, but if I ever did decide to do that and go back to school as an old man, I would probably want to like study something like, you know, do like a thesis on something along those lines. You know, how does personality correlate with with style in competitive sports or whatever you want to call it. But it's chess again. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no question it has to. Like, you are, you know, your personality is you. Is a big part of you anyway. Can you play chess without being you? What makes you you? Really, move 11, what makes you you at the end of the day? What makes you you and not me? You. I mean, I guess that's what our personality is at the end of the day. What makes you you and me? Mr. Coffee's like, I would say, so I feel like I play chess strongly links with my personality. I would think it would be the same for any mental games. If you have multiple personalities, it can be advantageous. Right? Little multiple personality joke for you guys. I think it's very interesting. to joke around with the multiple personality stuff with the poker too. But I see it in chess, man. People are indefinable these days. It's really harder to get a vibe about players because they're learning the game like much more on their own, like socially isolated, maybe. Hobbins is like insanely tough. For his rating, he's putting up a lot of resistance, which means he's an optimist. I would say Mr. Hobbins is an optimist, not a pessimist. What do you guys think? I think I have bipolar. I might be bipolar. And I never was diagnosed as being bipolar. But I find if we went by my chess play, there'd be strong personality traits. There's a freaking fruit fly, and they like rosé wine. Let's just put it that way. Rosé wine has a lot of sugar in it, and this fruit fly is like freaking out, dude. I poured myself a glass of wine, and it's like, if you need a way to catch a fruit fly, just put a little bit of wine on the table, and it'll be there. Hobbins may be a little too optimistic. A tale of two Hobbins. Yeah, Hobbins is extremely optimistic if he thinks he still has a chance here. The fly's back. Dude, go get... There you go. Go over there. I need a nice like killing zone here for this fruit fly. Damn, they're fast, dude. That's the end. The end. The fly. I just want to show you guys. When they explode, their eyes... This is what I've been informed by Google. When they explode, their eyes pop, like thus the red blood-like substance on the table. But don't be alarmed. That's not blood. That's just their gooey eyes coming out. But maybe Hobbins just enjoys, you know, technical little joke at Move 11's expense. Hobbins just enjoys technical positions. Now he resigned. Yeah, he didn't want to get tortured. Would you like to try nitrogen gas? Nitrogen gas for 300, Bob. Alright, Sun Prism's still in first place. I'm never going to catch him. He built too much of a lead. But this was fun. Killing flies. You guys ever read the Disney Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse and the Giant book I used to read for my kids. There's like this story. It's like the I don't know, it's like an old folk story where, you know, you killed like 5 giants with 1 stone or something like that. Mickey kills like 7 flies or 7 giants or something like that. I don't know the origins of this story, but it seems like something that probably came from, you know, old folklore. By the way, there was an AI Kraken folklore article on Google today, or on MSN or something. I thought that was funny. An AI generated article about deep dive on the Kraken. I thought, man, is that just because I talk about the Kraken on my stream? Was that like specific to me or something? I mean, what are the chances? Astrobate, by the way, guys, I'm broke. Please donate. Don't worry, I won't lose your money in poker. I'm too conservative for that. Alright, Astrobate, knight f3. Now, I've got to sell one of my apartments, but we actually had someone go... for the first time after having my apartment on the market for 6 months, a couple actually went to look at my old apartment. It's like shocker. Finally, after 6 months on the market, I got my first, literally first people went to see the apartment, and they liked it. And they're going to the bank to like look into a mortgage. Alright, Bishop d3. Astrobate is playing the Colley system. The Queen's Gambit accepted in reverse. Wow. Hungarian housing market is real bad. Because people can't get loans here because the interest rates are insane. Just imagine, like, you know, American interest rates, then double them for like Europe, and then like double them again, you know, because it's like Hungary and everything is manipulated by the far right government and stuff. We still have the forint. We have like Russian level mortgage rates here, you know. I mean, seriously, I don't know. I think the mortgage rates in Hungary must be close to like North Korea. It's probably like 20% or, you know, something insane. Like, you can get a mortgage in the United States for 5%. No, in Hungary it's like 15%. I don't know what the European average is, but it's extremely high. Like, basically nobody wants to borrow money from the bank because the rate is, it's outrageous. You just have to borrow money from your family and friends. They artificially manipulate the economy here. I think it's suspicious. It's suspicious the way the forint stays really strong. Well, that's basically what it's about. I'm not, you know, I studied economics. It's a minor. It's my minor. They propped up the forint by keeping interest rates really high. This is like, it's all connected. It's totally connected. I think the point is, like, so Orban's like assets will retain their value or something, you know. If he keeps the forint propped up, all of his assets in like forints, you know, won't lose their value. So consequently, like, the whole country has to pay like outrageous like there's a price to pay for these really high interest rates. People are paying the price for the forint keeping its value, basically. The economy is very strangely manipulated here. You know, I try not to think about it too much. But at least my property value artificially stays sort of on a normal level. Property values never go up, they never go down. Alright, Astrobate, what's up, dude? Is there anybody in the viewers? Is there anybody in the viewers? Astrobate is an interesting player. Knight f4. Pawn smile? Would you like a pawn smile? Okay, knight e4 looks a little bit, maybe a little bit over the top, but actually it's probably okay. Interesting, bishop f1. No, I like the way he's like resetting. Very solid, very solid Astrobate. It's a different Astrobate. See what? He's not, you know, he's normally very aggressive, but he's toned it down. He's not like some people who are like fearless. He's toning it down for me. He's played me 300... Oh, shit. 400 games. Acerbate. How many does Muleskinner have? Bro, you reached 400 games. Holy shit. This is 401. Muleskinner has more than 4... I mean... Wait, Morales has more than 400, right? Did you beat Morales to 400? Can we get a check on that, Mr. Coffee? Can you check? Maybe you can check. Maybe I have to check. It has to be with 400. This is 401. He has 5 points out of 400. The Indy 400. Acerbate's still at lap 5. He's lost so many simul games to me in like 5 moves by just losing on time now. Like, literally, Mr. Coffee, like 274 of the games are like simul games where he lost on time and moved 12. So I really only beat him like, you know, 180 or something. It's not really fair. He really should be banned by now for all those simul losses. Look how, you know, prophylactic his play is. He's controlling b4 with a3. Acerbate is adapting. He needs an intensive pawn structure, or like pawn, not pawn structure, but he needs an intensive pawn play camp. We're taking you to pawn camp, Acerbate. I have 293. No, Morales. Mr. Coffee Morales. I meant to say Morales, and I always get them confused. Acerbate. We need to go to pawn camp, okay? I like bishop c3, by the way, bro. Look how careful he is, though. I mean, no unnecessary pawn weaknesses. Take back. You're leaving your knight hanging. Dude, he just automatically played like bishop c3, leaving his knight hanging. I'm not going to take it. I refuse. I refuse to take your freaking knight, man. It's going to move, though. You got one more move. I'm not going to take it. Alright, just this once. Rook e8. I'm going to give you a break. You better not hang your knight another move, okay? Just this one time. Because I think it's an interesting position. I want to see how you're going to conduct it. The conductor. You're going to leave your knight on prees again? For another move? On autopilot? Pawn smile. This is the pawn smile. The pawns are smiling at Acerbate. We love you, Acerbate. It's fun. Fun to play you. And this is probably best. Humpy Konaru approved. Knight h5. You will go back. You promise to go back. Now he's undermining my d6 pawn. The reason why I gave him a take back is because I know him, and he just like, it's not that he really like hung the knight, he just like made his move so fast he forgot his knight was hanging. It's alright. You don't need to move so fast. Knight g3, only move. You want to try g4? You want to be adventurous? Keep the pawn smile intact. The smile. This was a term. No, you can't do takebacks. I tried to offer him take back. Actually, I don't know why like it's even there. It's like blacked out. They should just remove it. Look at that. The tactical prowess. Unbelievable. Did I use the wrong rook? Are you trying to tell me something? I should have used my e-rook to protect d6. Masturbate, you're right. I should have used my e-rook. Let's repeat position. What do you say? Queen d3 again. And then I'll play the e-rook to d8. Go here and I'll fix my mistake. I'll play rook d8, the other rook to d8. That'll be like my take back for this game. He's making progress, but his rating isn't showing it. You know, I feel maybe he hasn't gotten stronger, but he has an enhanced understanding of the game. Broader. And we've seen stylistic changes. Maybe it's one of those things where ultimately, you know, he'll have a big jump at some point. My rook is useless here. I shouldn't have given him a second chance. Radioactive bishop. There's one of my favorite games. Larry Evans versus Reshevsky from one of my favorite books. And it's Reshevsky's Art of Positional Play. And he has like this bishop against Evans that's like blocked in by its own pawns. But eventually he clears the diagonal for this guy, you know. Bro, why are you doing that? He just wants to lose spectacularly. Alright. You got it, man. You got it. Yeah, he just wants to give me... It's like helpmate, you know? What was the... Oh, 503. We crossed against Morales 500. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't catch Sun Prism. He's just too fast and too many games. I'm in second place. The rabbit and the hare theory didn't really work here in Arena. Rabbits are still better than hares. No, it's the tortoise and the hare. I'm an idiot. Alright, sorry. One glass of wine, I'm like a blithering fool. Rabbits and turtles, or tortoises. Not the rabbit and the hare, but the tortoise and the hare. Close. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. I'm just having fun tonight. I don't care about winning. I just want to finish on the prize podium. I don't know if there will be a next one, actually. You can make the tournament longer. Oh, no, I can't change it, can I? Advanced settings? Oh my god. No. No, that's not fair. I can't do that. I can't change the settings. I guess I could, right? Could I extend the tournament? Mid-tournament? Yeah, we thought that was you at first, Bob. That was our first guess, of course. No, but you probably know this, Bob. And actually it makes me suspicious. You know, Bob actually knows a little bit about baseball. So there's Bob's multiple personality disorder kicking in. Well, we're talking about psychology and personality and mind sports. So We're just wondering how multiple people with multiple personality, you know, how that affects their gameplay. Bob, what do you think? Advantage, disadvantage? Bob's totally talking to himself now. Unbelievable. Advantage, disadvantage? You can have two personalities. Actually, you know, what would happen if you were stuck on a desert island? Like the, you know, Forrest Gump, what's his name? I've got Alzheimer's. I am not well. I found out that I like men. That's cool, man. I have these men all the time. They're like, I love you, man. Every time I go anywhere, there's some guy telling me they love me. Does that mean, is that bad? Is that a bad sign? I mean, but it's weird. I never have women telling me they love me. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that says. You know, I literally, I just see more men than women, so it's probably just a statistics thing. If I saw enough women, they would also be like, oh, I love you. But I'm just exposed to more men than women, so I guess it's just statistics kicking in. We've got 1 minute and 24 left. AP87 played like 600 games. He's addicted to bullet chess. It's not good for your chest, dude. It's not. It's definitely not. I mean, I think you guys should really be careful. Boob. Where do you live, Boob? Boob to you. Dinekis with a technique. No. Who's white here? Oh, Dinekis is white and Sung Prism's taking him out. Oh, blockade. Can't let him blockade Dinekis. That's like doom. Well, anyway, it's lost anyway. There's nothing he could do, but Dinekis didn't put up the maximum resistance there in our last game for today. So Sun Prism, congratulations, won the tournament. But I had the highest performance rating. Take that. 2380 performance rating. Oh wow, Skewerly streaming. Where do you live, Boob? Speaking of Bob, I know you like Skewerly. Oh, Pepe. Let's see, he streams on chess.com now. There's all these people I know stream. What is it? It's the evening. Okay, evening stream. It's kind of late for me, 9:30. Well, I never noticed like so many friends streaming at the same time. Alright, we got Sun Prism in first place. Sparkle Horse was second. AP87. AP87 played 600 games and finished third. See, William Arrivederci. Stop playing bullet chess, Andrea. And take the chess seriously. Well, actually, he doesn't play bullet. He just plays blitz and plays bullet in the blitz games. He's actually not playing bullet, but he is playing bullet. You know, that's the problem. If you look at AP's account, he only has 3,500 bullet games, and he has like 6,000 blitz games, and he has, what is it? 17,000 rapid, but he's playing bullet in rapid. Most of his rapid games, he only uses 2 minutes. It's like Acerbate. You guys, you play rapid games in 2 minutes, and it doesn't really count as rapid. You might as well just play bullet. Yeah, he's pretty crazy. But anyway, it was fun. Stopped by for just 3 games. Serious chest there. Guiju, Shocky, Astrobate. Astrobate 5th place. Wow. Astrobate's getting close to the podium with a 5th place finish. Good job. You didn't have too many heavy hitters. I got to start advertising the tournaments like a bit earlier in general. But anyway, guys, I'm going to try to do a raid with someone who raided me the other day to return the favor. Out of here, guys. I'm going to be back. What is this? What is today again? Today's Tuesday? I'm back on Thursday. We have Wednesdays off. Wednesdays are off now because I had no viewers. Monday, I don't know. Monday and Friday are okay, but Wednesdays is like the worst day. So let's see if we can do a raid here and return the favor. They raided me the other day. Emma Showtime. Also a chess streamer. They seem fun. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye, horse. Mm-hmm.